What's up, YouTube? So we did it. We finally achieved Random Civ to Conquer. It took me a month. I started the challenge 29 days ago. It was the first stream for Random Civ to Conq. Took me 101 games with a 52% win rate. So yeah, I'm gonna dive into the challenge, the statistics on like how I did with all the different civs, and then I'll talk about how I feel with different civs, what I learned from doing the challenge, etc., all of that good stuff. And I'll talk about the most memorable moments of the challenge. So, um, I compiled these stats. First of all, we're gonna get into the stats using AOE4world.com, and it shows like my stats for each civ. Now, unfortunately, it split it into two patches, so I had to do a little bit of math, but I went ahead and did that. So yeah, um, let's dive into it. So going into the challenge, I said that Mongols, Byzantine, and China, as well as Order of the Dragon, were the civs that I didn't know how to play the most, and sure enough, those were some of the civs I did the worst on. Um, my absolute worst win rate was Order of the Dragon. I got 6 games on them during the Random to Conquer challenge. I did not win a single one. This is what I gotta say about Order. I don't think that the Archer rush in Feudal is that bad. Although I didn't get around to doing a decent job of it until like my sixth game with them. And then my opponent built a stone wall mangonel tower in his base.
Winter biome?
So yeah. That was something. The Civ's eco just feels horrible. I just need a lot more practice with them to be any good with them, and it's really hard to play them at the same level that I play any of my normal civs. So I wasn't surprised that I didn't win a single. I mean, I thought I would win one game with Order, but I thought I'd win one. I won 0. It's not that big of a surprise. Mongols was another civ I did awful on, although I think they're a very strong civ. I just struggle with them sometimes. Like, I'll try to, for example, this happened during the challenge at some point. I'll try to move a military, like, rally a military building, and I end up moving it because it's unpacked or something, and so I move it to some weird spot or across the map. I just do dumb things with Mongols. I think they're a very strong civ, and if I played them a little bit more, I would do a lot better. The one game that I managed to do trade, it was very easy to defend. Once, after like 5 minutes, I think the first couple minutes of defending trade can be hard, but it was also against Order the Dragon on Golden Pit, so like I don't think they stood a very high chance of in that matchup on that map. It was just really easy to get away with the trade, so that was the one game I won. Oh, what did we just do? And then another civ I did absolutely horrible on, China, with 10%. There's not much to say. China is hard to play. They run out of food really easily. They can't do the farm transition like Zushi or Byzantines or English or other campy civs can do. So it's really hard to play China, I think. And I just did a poor job of it. Now I was really excited to finally get a win with them on Golden Heights. That was actually one of the most memorable moments of the challenge, to finally win a game with China, because I thought I was going to lose all of them. So yeah, I got one win with China. So it's still a civ I need to improve with. I might just never play it though. The next lowest win rate is going to be Byzantines. I think I learned a lot about the civ, and I think I would do okay with it in the future. And I think the civ still has a lot to be figured out by higher level players. Like Beastie has said, he thinks it's underdiscovered, not fully figured out exactly how it should be played in all situations, and that he thinks it's a decent civ, and that the win rates will go up over time. I think I agree with him. it didn't feel particularly like terribly weak when I lost. It just felt like I had no idea what I was doing, and I was forgetting things like connecting a cistern or, you know, building the cistern in the first place. Building mercenary houses. I was just forgetting basic things that the Civ needs to do to be good. So it's hard to blame the Civ for the losses. It was just me not knowing what to do. But we learned a lot about Byzantines. I did get 9 games with them. So I did learn a lot about Byzantines. Probably the Civ I learned the most about. Like China, I know what to do. It's just really hard. Same with like Mongols. Like I know what to do. I'm just not practiced with it. But Byzantine, I had no idea what to do, and I feel like I learned a good bit in those 9 games about like how it should be played, or at least I learned a decent amount. And the Civ, like I said, the Civ still has a long way to go as far as like discovering exactly how it should be played. Um, the next lowest win rate, tied with Byzantines, is actually French. We're just gonna call this a fluke. I only got 3 games on French, so very low sample size. Um, 2 of them I was having a very bad day, just in general on the game. 2 of the games, and those were the 2 I lost. It was like in the same day, and then yeah, the other one was French versus Mongols, which is a good matchup for Mongols, but I ended up pulling it out. So um, I'm just gonna call that one a fluke. I don't have much to say about that. Obviously, I know how to play French. I don't know how strong French is in the current meta, but I don't think that matters so much in low conqueror as it does at the pro level. So, and those are all the civs I had losing win rates with. So I had losing win rates with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 16 civs. So 11 out of 16 civs, I had 50% or better win rate. Um, that's surprising to me, but I'll take it. 11 out of 16 civs with 50% or better win rate. I'll take it. And obviously I needed that to carry and make up for the China and the Order of the Dragon and the Mongols, right? So the 50% civs were Japanese and ABBA. I barely got any games on Japanese. I think I would do better than 50% win rate with Japanese. I think ABBA I might even do better than 50% as well. But I didn't get a lot of games on either of these 2 civs. I do know how to play Japanese fairly well. I played them a lot on my main. Delhi at 57% is next. Delhi is in a pretty straightforward civ, and I think one of these games that I lost even as Delhi, I just completely threw away the game when I was very far ahead. Maybe even 2 of them. Like Delhi is a very strong civ in the current meta, and I definitely threw on one of the losses. I might have thrown on 2 of the losses, just like thrown easy leads, doing something stupid. Like one of the games I built a keep right in front of my opponent's base, like way too early. If I had just massed a few more units, I would have been fine. So yeah, I completely threw. So I think my win rate with Delhi should have been even better. Like it's a very strong civ. I'm very comfortable on it, even though I haven't played it a lot because it's just very easy. You just click all the upgrades and spam units and capture sacred sites, and then you go castle once you have the sacred sites, and it's just an easy civ to play in my opinion. So yeah, it was fun to play it in random. I like Delhi a lot. Malians, I won 4 out of 6, and one of those games I won 100% just through as well. I think it should have been at least 5 out of 6. Malians is extremely strong. The cow boom is extremely strong. You can just do cow boom pretty much every game and just, yeah. I mean, it's only tough in certain matchups with very aggressive, like, early play. Like, if you're very aggressive early towards Malians, that you can put them in an uncomfortable position, but HRE, I'm very surprised to say that I won 5 out of 6 games. I did used to play HRE a good bit, like a few seasons ago, like season 3, like a year ago, season 2 maybe, both of those seasons, I don't know. But yeah, I mostly just did castle rush into getting relics and then spamming men-at-arms. I think I did that pretty much every game with HRE. Spam men-at-arms once you get a couple relics, and then spam prelates to get the divine inspiration, and then just push your opponent and kill them. And I think it's an easy civ to play, and I don't know. It was fun. I like playing HRE. I really like making all the prelates and the healing. It's a fun civ. Yeah, I don't have much more to say about HRE. Ayubids is busted as hell. I want to be clear, I practiced Ayubids basically 0 times before I started this challenge, and I won 5 out of 6 games. I rushed castle almost every time. I did Bazaar Trade Wing, like, probably 5 out of those games, and then one game I did, I accidentally did the Blacksmith tech up into the advancement, and then I rushed castle, and then I did Camel Lancers and Archers. No matter how you do it, no matter how you go to castle with Ayubids, their castle timing pushes are insane with the Camel Lancers, and then you can just follow up with Archers. You can even go Guam Archer. It just depends, but I think the Camel Lancer Archer rush is really strong. I think Ayubids is one of the strongest timing push civs. Their macro isn't insane like some of the other macro civs are, like Zushi or Malians, but yeah, Ayubids is really strong. Their castle timing push is really strong and easy to execute. We didn't talk about English yet. I got English 6 out of 9 times. Longbow rushed pretty much every one of those games except for a couple. I might have rushed castle. Either longbow rushed or rushed castle with like a town, a King's Palace pretty much every time. And yeah, not much to say about English. It's very easy to play. I don't have to practice it much to be decent. We got Jeanne d'Arc as well, 6 out of 8, 75%. Yeah, Jeanne d'Arc is very easy to win with. We don't have to talk about this much. Everybody knows what Jeanne d'Arc is, and most players think they're super busted. And then, yeah, Zushi Legacy, 72% win rate, and I think I might have done 2 TC or Castle Rush once or twice, but I think most of those games I just Juganu spammed 1 TC into an all-in, and I think it's very, very strong. A couple of those games I ended up dropping 2nd TC later in the game, but Zushi is very strong. You can just make units constantly and then build farms behind it with Song Dynasty. Their farms are cheap, their granary transition is super cheap, and then their food eco will be insane. And you can just poke your opponent all over the map as they try to gather food in different areas and just keep spamming units. And yeah, it's a very fun civ to play. Very strong civ. So yeah, that's actually the civ I ended up getting the most throughout the challenge, was Zushi. And then China was second, of course. So overall, China was very heavily represented here. Oh yeah, and then finally my highest win rates. Well, my highest win rate was Ottomans. I won all my games. That's my best civ. What can I say? Rus, 3 out of 4. Once again, probably one of my best civs, right behind Ottomans. So not much to say there. So yeah, it was a really fun challenge. I enjoyed it. Let's talk about like some of the most memorable moments were like my first win on China. My first win on Byzantines was great. My Mongols trade win was amazing. Super fun game. And then I don't know, that's really it for the most memorable moments. The hardest moments were I got like 1 game away from Conquer twice, and I random Chinese both times and lost both of those games and had to work my way back up to Conquer again. So it is what it is. It happens. But yeah, I couldn't believe I got Chinese on the last game twice and lost both times. Just like, for real? My most asked question, people keep asking me, what did I learn from this challenge? It's a really tough question to answer because it's so many things. Like, I learned a lot about Byzantines. I learned a lot about Zushi's legacy. And I learned a decent bit about Order of the Dragon. I lost 6 games with them. I learned a lot about Ayubids, just practicing their build order. But it's like, what did I learn specifically, and can I translate that into something that's actually going to help you as a player, or help somebody else who's trying to random? It's really hard to say. Like, Another question I was asked is like, how do you remember build orders for all 16 civs? Like, I think like it's just important to note, guys. I've got like 2,400 hours in this game now over 2 years, and I watch tons of tournaments, and I've practiced most of the not the new civs, but I've practiced most of the old civs before starting this challenge at some point in my AOE career, and also I've reached a point mechanically where like executing build orders or even thinking about new build order, like making my own build orders, is not hard at all. For Mongols, I did not watch any build orders. For Ayubids, I've never watched a build order. For Zushi, I don't think I watched any build orders, and if I did, I wasn't paying much attention when I watched them. Chinese, didn't watch any build orders. These are things I've just picked up on from watching pro players for so long, and I don't always need to watch a build order or remember a build order to play Civ. Like, it's just like, okay, Ayubids has berry bonus. They go for berries first. I know they need 7 on food because Abbasid needs 7 on food, right? So it's like I didn't have to practice the Ayubid opener because it's kind of the same as Abbasid. And it's the same with Zushi. I didn't have to practice a Zushi opening build order because it's the same as Chinese opening build order. And I know I suck with Chinese, but I know their opening build order at least, right? Because Chinese was the first Civ I ever played a long time ago. And I played Mongols way back in the day when I first started. And I've played Rus, French, Ottomans the whole time I've been playing the game. And I've played English the whole time I've been playing the game. At least somewhat. So it's like... It's not like you're not going to remember. If you just start randomly playing random Civ, you're not going to remember 16 build orders right off the bat. It just is going to come with time. And watching people play the game and playing the game yourself, it takes a vast amount of hours to be able to remember build orders and execute build orders for all the different civs. And it's not something where I can just be like, oh, this is what I learned playing random civ so that it will help you. It really is just experience. And I wish I had like some helpful, just like one line tip that's like, do this and you'll be able to remember build orders for all 16 civs, but I can't. It's a very complicated thing. That's kind of all there is to it. I you know, I would recommend, like, if you have no idea how to play a civ, watch a build order. If you have a loose idea of how to play a civ, or like what villagers go where in the early game, just play. You just need to play and practice that civ, and I don't have better advice than that. Like, everything's just gonna come with vast amount of play times. And finally, I'll talk about what civs I thought were the best and weakest, and this is not for pro level, this is for just the ladder in general. We'll say below Conq 1 and below. I think Ayubids is the strongest civ, the easiest. It's a very easy to execute strategy. Rush Castle into Camel Lancers and Archers, you can do it in pretty much every matchup, every map. Just ban the water maps if you don't want to play the hybrid maps to change strategies, and just Rush Castle every game. I think I'm going to make an Ayubids build order, so that'll be up on my YouTube soon. It's just very easy to execute strategy. Ottomans as well, I think, is another very strong civ for just climbing ladder. You can just make a small amount of units in feudal and get your military schools running and react to your opponent very easily. If they're making tons of units, you just mass units. If they're going castle or something, you could just go castle yourself. Ottomans get stronger in castle, I would say. They get free siege, they get their military schools produced faster. They can go for relics right away without building a mosque if you go for the right vizier point. And then their Imperial Age, the Great Bombards, are really hard to stop. So Ottomans get better and better as the game goes on, and it's just a very simple civ to play. If you mess up making units, like if you don't make enough units, it's really easy to get them out quickly because you have faster production speed. Plus you have passive production from your military schools. So I think Ottomans and Ayubids are the easiest civs to climb ladder with right now. That's what I would say. Hardest civs to climb ladder with right now is maybe Order of the Dragon, because it's difficult to gauge your fights. Like, it's so hard to know, am I going to win this fight? Am I going to lose this fight? And also their economy sucks. And then Chinese, because they're just difficult. and Byzantines because they're difficult and unfigured out. So those are the hardest civs, I would say, to climb ladder. But yeah, if you watched any or all of the challenge or followed on Twitch, watched any of the YouTube videos, thank you for watching. Thank you for keeping up with the challenge. Um, I'm excited to get back to just playing the civs I want to play on ladder, and also maybe focusing on making a few guides. I have an Ayubid's guide in mind, and maybe a Jeanne d'Arc guide as well coming up soon. Maybe Zushi's Legacy, we'll see. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks so much for following the challenge. Thanks for watching my videos. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.